Hey friends, welcome or welcome back. Today, if you have a child with autism and you are having a hard time getting them to fall asleep or stay asleep, this video is for you. I'm going to share some tips and tricks with you that we have learned along the way with my son Michael, who has autism. Stay tuned, let's get started. Hi, my name is Joanne, and my son Michael has autism and is nonverbal. He was diagnosed about 20 months, and since then, sleep has been a huge issue for him. But we are finally settling into a comfortable zone for sleep, and I think that I have a pretty good handle on it. But I want to be honest with you up front and say, my son Michael was up last night about 2:30 and pretty much on from that point on. So this is the thing that I want to stress with this video. Every child is different, and if you have been on this autism ride for a while, you're going to know there are going to be ups and downs, and it's always going to be a little challenging when it comes to um, certain disciplines. And sleep has to be consistent and has to have a schedule in order for it to work for my son. So today I wanted to share some of these things with you because I know it's a big problem in our autism community is the lack of sleep. And if your child's not getting any sleep, either are you. So I wanted to, sit down and do this video today. It was also requested by my friend Melissa, who is a nurse practitioner, and she sees a lot of families coming in with this concern. She asked me to do this video, so I wanted to do this for her today, as well as anybody who needs help with these issues. So let me point out a few things that we have done along the way. Okay, let's talk about a bedtime routine. As I said, routine and consistency are going to be your best friends when it comes to getting your child to fall asleep. I always try to do it around the same time every night, and I suggest that you try, play around with time. Sometimes going too early is not a blessing. Sometimes going later is better. You really have to know your child and how long it takes them to really fall asleep. The first thing you want to do is, as part of your bedtime routine, is communicate to your child, we are going to start to get ready to settle down and go to bed for the night. So some of the things you may want to do is say, let's take a bath, let's get ready for a bath, let's take a shower, and let's get your pajamas on, and there's a few things, excuse me, just with the bath alone that you can do to maybe help. Some are really good with the I want to say like essential oils. Lavender, which is known to help you relax, calm down, and fall asleep, might be something that you can use in your child's bath. There is a lot of lavender scented bath gels and body wash and body lotion that might also help. So I would suggest, playing around with some of these things in the bath and after the bath and see if that helps at all, in relaxing your child after their bath and after their shower. And of course, these things do not have to go in this order. You do what's best for you and your family. And if you need to change the scheduling, the order of the way your schedule is for bedtime, you certainly can. After the shower, of course, you're going to put them on in their pajamas. There are so many different pajamas to choose from these days, but I did find from Michael, as very young, the more snug ones really helped him. It really provided the pressure, the sensory pressure, that he needed. And if your child is sensory seeking, you may want to try these type of pajamas as well. Of course, as they get older, different things are going to work and change, with them. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the next step I would always do is brush your teeth. That has been challenging for Michael, and we are just now at 12 years old really getting it to a place where he can hand over hand do it himself. But, again, this is going to be, based on what your child is capable of at this time, and as they get older and they start to learn, and develop more skills, brushing their teeth will be, not, maybe something that they'll be able to do on their own. If not, that's what mom and dad are here for, just the hand over hand method. Brushing their teeth is important. So I would suggest, giving that a try as well. So now we have them bathed, we have their PJs on, their teeth are brushed. Now it is time to get them into the bed. There are many things that I did in the beginning, including getting in the bed with my son Michael until he, finally fell asleep. I'm not going to tell you. I want this to be more of a suggestion than I'm saying get in the bed with your child, because again, you have to do what's best for your family. So get them into their bed. You may want to do prayers, or you may want to read them a story. And I would say pick a story that is not, 100 pages long. Obviously, I think everybody knows that, but a story that will keep their interest. Maybe if, more pictures, like Michael was more visual than he was, comprehending at a younger age. Now it's different. He can really follow along with the book. But back when Michael was having severe sleep issues, reading a book was not working for him. So it was really more of a book with pictures, bright color pictures that he can really focus on. And that is something that, you can look into, find the perfect books for your child's level. If you're going to, try and read to them at night. Also want to say, if your child uses a tablet, they're watching videos, or maybe they watch TV, you do, I think my doctor suggested about an hour before bedtime, all the electronics, TV, everything should be turned off, because this really helps them, calm their mind and settle them into, helping them to fall asleep. So probably, I would say, I'm trying to think back, in those early days, and I'm talking when Michael was from 1 to maybe 5, 6 years old, the sleep patterns were completely off and was very, very challenging. So electronics definitely were taken away. And I'm going to be honest also in saying I'm not sure that that really helped one way or another, but it was something that we did try. Okay, so now we have our child in bed. They've been bathed, they have their teeth brushed, all the electronics have been shut off. So the next thing I would like to suggest to try is a weighted blanket. This is a blanket that provides sensory input to those kids on the spectrum that maybe have some sensory issues, that would really provide that sensory input for them. It's just a regular blanket with weights in it, and they do come in different pounds, so you can start very low and work your way up and just see if that helps your child. I used a weighted blanket for Michael for about 6 months, I'd say 7, 8 months maybe. And most of the time in the morning, I would find it, either on the floor or at the end of the bed. And my thought was, for Michael, it may have been providing some kind of sensory input, but it was also very heavy. And he is a kid that loves to sleep in a cooler environment. So I think for him, it just didn't work. But I've heard from many autism moms and even neurotypical kids and adults that use weighted blankets very successfully. So that is another thing that you can try. You can find them on Amazon. I will leave a link below to the one that we used for Michael. My next tip is to get a sound machine. There are so many different varieties to choose from. You can get them in Amazon, Target, I believe probably any kind of electronics store, but I will link the one that we used for Michael and Alex. We used this white noise machine probably from the time they were babies all the way up to, I want to say maybe Michael was about 8 or 9 when we stopped using it. I would say it helped tremendously in the beginning of his autism diagnosis, when we were having a lot of sleep trouble. The machine that we had different settings. It had ocean, rainstorms, like babbling woods or creeks or something like that. It had a variety of different sounds. His ocean, which is no surprise to me today as to why he loves the ocean, but the ocean sound was his favorite. And I would put that on as soon as we got into the bed, and it would stay on. There was a timer, I believe, and I think it would stay on maybe 2 or 3 hours. It also was helpful if he got up in the middle of the night of turning it back on for another few hours. That did seem to help. Eventually, Michael didn't need it anymore, so we have not been using a sound machine. Matter of fact, I don't even think that he would be able to fall asleep to one now. Now he kind of likes it where it's completely quiet. But I would definitely recommend getting yourself a white sound machine. They even have travel ones now. So if you travel, you can take it with you, which would also be helpful when you're on, when you're away. You want your kids to be able to sleep as well. So definitely a white noise machine. The next thing I want to talk to you about that might be helpful is using a sleep aid, melatonin. This could be a yes or a no for you as a parent, and I completely understand. There are some parents that are not interested in having their child take melatonin, and then there are those of us who, we're okay with doing it. I have to say we probably resisted it for quite a while, but when it was getting to be just we needed a little bit of a break, we did start with melatonin. It comes in a liquid and a chewable form. We started with the liquid form, and then as Michael got older, he was able to do a chewable. Now, we started, I believe, at like a 1 milligram, and we went all the way up to about a 5 milligram, using maybe a second dosage in the middle of the night if he was to get up. This worked great for us for many years. Excuse me, but as the time goes on, the melatonin wasn't working anymore. So we had to go in another direction, which I'm going to share with you as well. Okay. And lastly, my final tip, and the one that has worked the most, the best for us, is prescription medication. I know that not all parents are interested in putting their child on medications. There's a lot of different types of medications, and you really have to discuss it as a family, you and your husband, your family, with your child's pediatrician, developmental pediatrician, neurologist, whoever it is that you see for your child's autism. Really have those discussions when it comes to the point where you're not able to function anymore. I can tell you that we really did hold off on doing this for quite some time, and then it was at the point where we couldn't do it anymore. Michael has had different medications probably over the last maybe 3 or 4 years that we've been using prescription medication. Some of the medications are used for other things. Sometimes we would have to change dosage, or the medication side effects were not we're not helping, we're causing other issues, so we change medications. The medications that we are using, I'm not going to disclose them here, because like I said, all these medications that we have used over the years are also for different things. So if you're interested in knowing more about the medications, I'm more than happy to get them to you. You could just reach out by email. My email is below, or on my social media, just send me a DM and I'd be happy to share them with you. I know as a mom, as a dad, as a caregiver, going on your children going on medication, going in that direction is sometimes very scary. And I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was very worried about Michael being on medication. But over the years, we monitor, we do blood work, we make sure, that, it's not affecting other things going on. You just have to really know, you have to, do a little research and find out about the medications and what's going to work best, and have these discussions with your doctors. So I can say, for example, as in last night, Michael was up at 2:30 and he was up from there on out. And, there are going to be times and periods in your kids' lives that, things don't always work. And I'm sure that it's usually because of some other situation going on. Michael had a little rough day yesterday, so I'm guessing that it had something to do with that. But you know what? We'll see how it goes over, the next few nights, and hopefully he'll get back on schedule, and we move on from there. So that is my tips and my suggestions, my ideas, and things that we have tried that have worked, and some that have worked for a little bit of time and stopped, and what's working right now for us. I hope that this helps you. And if you know somebody with a child on the spectrum, please go ahead and share the video with them. Maybe, it may be things that they already know about, or maybe there is something I said that would, maybe they want to try. So that is it, my friends, for today. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate you spending time listening to me today talk about my son, learning about autism, and just really sharing as much as I can about autism, because the more everyone knows, the more my son is accepted. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.